hope you're all well. Well, as you can see, today we're back in the van. We are at a different location. We're at my sister's farm in Buckinghamshire. Unfortunately, it's raining cats and dogs, so we can't take you out and show you around. So if you hear a few moos in the background, then that's why. So, because we can't go anywhere, I thought we'd make a bread pudding. So we've got bread, dried fruit, some sugar, a couple of eggs, mixed spice, and importantly, a strong tea. So let's get on with it. You just break up the bread. Now this bread is a few days old, but it doesn't have to be. You can use fresh bread if you like, and any bread. I've got brioche buns, white sliced bread, seeded bread, but I have used brown, whatever you've got basically. Like I say, it doesn't have to be stale. It's just soaks up the tea better if it is.
So you've got a couple of brioche buns going in there, dear. And how many slices of bread do you reckon?
The sliced bread, I've put in 6 slices, and that's complete slices, crusts and everything, the end pieces of the loaves. I don't cut anything off, I use all of it. I don't see the point in chucking bits of it away. It all adds to the flavour. I'll squish that down a bit. One more, I think, and then that will be enough. As you can see, I've got 2 eggs there. I generally only use 1, but it just depends on what the consistency is like. We'll have a look when we get that far. Yeah, so it's just breaking up the bread into a bowl, like so, quickly as I can for you guys. That's it. So that's 7 slices of bread and a couple of brioche buns. Right, I'm going to add to that the tea. Now I've not measured out a quantity here. This is a recipe that I've always just made, basically made it up as I've gone along. So I've no idea how much tea was in there. I just make a lot of it. That was 6 tea bags in that, in there, and then as you can see, the bread starts to soak it up. So you just move it around to get tea on it, and then just add it a little bit at a time. Don't dump it all in there, because otherwise you'll make it a little bit too wet. So I just do little bits at a time, just to coat. You want as much of the bread coated as possible. It doesn't matter if it isn't all coated with it. It really makes no difference to the flavour. And I don't even know where the tea bit came from. I know lots of recipes use milk, or possibly even just water. I know the recipe was designed years ago basically just for the sake of using up stale bread.
Yeah, this was just before I retired from my job. This was a favourite that I used to take in as a treat for the boys. They used to love this. So Marky Boy, Steve and Vince, this is us in action making one. Unfortunately you ain't going to get none of that, but I promise I will call down one time and we will bring you some more. And when was the last time you actually made this, dear?
Oh, it's got to be, I think it was just before the lockdown started.
Yeah.
It was one of the last things you took into work, wasn't it?
It was, and the time before that, it was on a beach in Croatia. I believe we were.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
When we were there with friends, we all had a little bit of bread left, and it was, well, why not use it up and make a bread pudding? Right, that's a pretty good consistency there. You see, most of the bread is well coated. So to that, I'm going to add some sugar. Now I've got 1/3 of a cup of sugar here, but it really does depend on taste. And I just put in what I think. 1/3 of a cup would be far too sweet for us, bearing in mind you're putting in fruit as well.
Yeah, so that's not a lot of sugar gone in there, just that 1/3 of that cup. There's still a lot left.
So I've put that in, and the same with mixed spice. I will just sprinkle on. You want a fair bit. What's that? Probably 2.5 teaspoons there, ish. This gives it the lovely smell when it's cooking. Just mix all that in. like I say, unfortunately it's not anything I've ever done, measuring the ingredients out. Now I'm putting in sultanas. You can put in any kind of dried fruit you like. I happen to have in the cupboard sultanas. I prefer them to raisins, but you can use whatever you like. Quite a lot of fruit actually. And then I found some mango pieces. I've never tried it with those before, so
no,
let's give it a go.
Looks good.
But I have in the past put mixed fruit, the bags of mixed fruit you can get from the supermarket. I've put in alcohol, rum, or brandy, or anything like that if you like.
Have you done it with chocolate chips as well?
I have done it with chocolate chips.
I remember that one. That went down really well at work. So.
They liked it, but you weren't so keen.
No, no.
And then just mix all that in. Just to distribute it as best you can. Again, this is just a mix it all up. And
smells lush, as they say down in the West Country.
Right, and then to that, I'm going to add my egg. And there's no separating out eggs and yolks and whites or any of that kind of stuff. Just the entire egg goes in. Give that a good mix. Yeah, you don't want it too sloppy. I mean, this is such an easy thing to do, but it does take quite a lot of a long cooking time, so you don't want it too wet. I suppose like a fairly stiff cake batter.
So normally you would cook this in an oven, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But obviously we're here again. No, we don't have an oven as such, so we are going to be cook it in the old SQ pan with the diffuser. Again, low heat, and you really need one of those diffusers, because if you don't, we found that it will burn stuff in the middle and the outside will be raw. So with the diffuser, it spreads the heat out, cooks a lot more evenly.
Right, so there we go with the fruit and all the ingredients mixed in. One egg I think was more than enough. When I've been doing this in the house, boat as it is, I would use up all the bread I had and make a huge one. Like I say, Wilf used to take it to work, and it keeps really well, so you can keep it for over a week in the fridge. So I'd make a really big one, but I've got, in fact, actually I might stuck that bit of bread in because he's left there all on his own. Might I want to use him up?
You let a little secret out there, babe, didn't you?
What's that?
You mentioned the word boat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys wouldn't know, but we actually live on a boat. We have done for 13 years. We lived off grid for 13 years now, so. And
we can move about on the boat, obviously, and travel around. The van gave us the opportunity to go even further. Right, now I've added that little bit, and as you can see, it's dried up a bit, so I'm just going to put a little bit more tea in. Give that a good mix, and then what you want to do then, once all that's mixed in, is let it stand for about no more than 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, just so that everything, all the flavours soak into the bread properly. There we go. And that's your mixture done. Easy as that.
marvellous. So we'll get the cooker out, and then we'll get back to you and we'll carry on.
Right, there we go. So that's been resting for around about 10 minutes. You can see it's stiffened up a little bit. It was always a fairly thick mixture before, and all we do with this is tip it into our pan.
That's a cold pan.
Yeah, I treat it exactly the same as I would if I was doing it in an oven. I don't put it in a heated pan then, so I'm not doing it now. As much as we can out, that will do. And then all you do is spread it about. It will swell up slightly while it's cooking, not massively so. It doesn't rise like a big sponge cake, but you do get a little bit of rise to it. So just spread it out so that the whole pan is covered as best you can. Like so. This is a non-stick pan. You could, if you haven't got one of these. Mind you, having said that, I think the Ridge Monkeys are non-stick as well.
Yeah, and there again, we'll keep on about it. The flame diffuser, that just spreads all the heat out, so it heats the whole bottom of the pan, not just in the centre.
And then,
very important.
Yeah,
and that's on a low heat.
This, you could just leave this as you like. I like to give it a bit of texture and just run a fork over it. That's it. Close the lid and put it on. That's it. Now that's going to take 40 to 50 minutes. Seems an awful long time, but it's exactly the same for an oven. So we'll leave that for 20 minutes, give it a check, and then turn the pan over. Right, that's been about 15 minutes, so we'll just give it a check. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to turn it over now. And let's just whip over. Oh, that sounded pretty good. So let's open and have a look at the... Yeah, that's done on that side. Yeah, so now we'll give that 15 to 20 minutes on this side.
Lovely.
Back to you shortly.
Adios.
Right, okay, so let's give it another check. Right, so I need to turn it over and check that side. Oh yeah, that looks to be done. I think we'll take that out now. I've got to turn it back over again. Well, I don't have to, but it's easier to get out of the pan from the side that's not quite so
the
deep.
shallow end, if you like, yeah.
So, I'll open that out like that. Get my little helper. Put that underneath, and then just tip the pan and put it into the rack. There we go. Right, we need to leave that to cool completely now, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah, so that's
show
obviously not quite as thick as what it would be in a normal oven, the way it's done in an oven, but that looks marvellous.
Well, it depends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you just use what bread you've got. If I had more bread, I could have obviously made that much deeper.
So that's what, 15 minutes either side?
No, probably a little bit more than that. I think it took just under 40 minutes in total, which is less than it would have been in the oven.
Yeah, so it's really, really good. Well done, dearest.
Alright, we'll be back to you when we cut it open.
We'll let that cool down and get a cup of tea on the go, and we'll try that in a minute. Lovely jubbly.
Right, here we go then. It's all cooled down. I've sliced it all up and put it onto a plate. So it's time now to have a piece each. That bit. There we go. Nice cup of tea to go with it. And Wilf is chief quality control tester, so we're going to go with what he thinks of this.
So, smells good, looks good. Yeah, fantastic. Like I said, a little bit thinner than what we normally do it in the old oven, but yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well,
lovely.
That's because that's all the bread I had. But yeah, if you have a look, that's roughly what it comes out like. So it's like a fairly dense cake, really, but full of fruit, full of flavour, and a good way to use up bread, and particularly on a rainy day like today.
So what could we have with that? What would you serve it with as an ideal, just generally?
Well, as is, obviously.
Yeah.
It goes well with cream, custard, ice cream. Well, pretty much anything you want to put it with.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done. I think that was a success. Well done, the old SQ professional again. So, if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Give us a comment, good or bad. Again, if you want us to have a go at anything, let us know.
And consider subscribing.
And subscribe to it. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. Right,
See you in the next one. Bye.
Ta-da.